Well, hello. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you dig it? Let me know. Chatbot is here, so that's working. Yeah, can you hear me? Is everything okay? No echoes? Yes, yes, and yes, I can. That'll do for me. I do apologise if I sound a little bit out of breath. I've been running around like a tit in a trance because my beautiful daughter has no clue about the concept of time. A very quick, can you pick me up? Turned into, can you pick me up? Can we phone the police because we think we've just seen a little girl who needs help? Made that international sign, is it that thing? And said, help me. So they ended up going back to try and help this little girl and phone the police. But apparently the little girl was okay and that's all fine, so that's a good thing. Then we had to go to B&M. Then you have to go to Asda. And then I've just flown back like an absolute lunatic just to get here for you people. Let's have a look who we've got. Yes, slightly out of breath. Mandy and Lizzie, as always, the happy spanners. Kirsty, how you all doing? You okay? And Daniel, all right, mate? How's things? Nice to see you. To see you, nice. Definitely worth it, Mandy. Right, I'm going to try and do these twice a week. I know it was only Sunday, so Tuesday's a bit quick. It was going to be tomorrow, but tomorrow's a big day, unfortunately. Louise, are you? You right? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, tomorrow's a big day. Tomorrow is the anniversary of my head exploding. So it's about, I don't know, at about 10:30, maybe 11:15 tomorrow. That'll be the exact 1 year since the stroke happened. And I'm not sure how I'm going to feel tomorrow. I'll probably be alright, but you never know, do you? It might just be one of those days where suddenly I think, what has happened? What has happened? But I've got to keep looking at it as being positive. A year ago today, I was fine. Obviously, I wasn't, otherwise, it wouldn't have happened a year ago tomorrow, but there we go. Casper, how you doing, mate? Yeah, so I think I'll try and do them on a Wednesday if possible, apart from obviously this week. Yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know how I'm going to feel when I wake up. Is it going to bring back a load of memories? Am I just going to think, sod it, it's just another day? I have absolutely no idea, but we will soon find out. Yeah, Lizzie, I know you're all there. Thank you very much. Kirsty, yep, the RDA is also there. You are a wonderful distraction, each and every one of you. I do appreciate it. There have been days where I've been a little bit of I don't want to say down or low or anything, because I haven't at all, but I might just be feeling a little bit bewildered and in need of a little bit of something. And that little bit of something normally comes from the RDA. Just that, lose yourself in a chat for half an hour and then whatever you're thinking about just disappeared completely. So I really do appreciate that. And I may well lean on you. Yes, Louise, a year ago, I was a silently ticking bomb. This year, I know what's what. And, well, fingers crossed, I know that it's not going to happen again. Hopefully, it won't happen again. Because I have been looking after myself a hell of a lot more than I was. Even I know that, man. A distraction, that is a compliment. Believe it or not. If you weren't such good company, I wouldn't be distracted. So it is a compliment. Yeah, but yeah, I definitely have been looking after myself a lot more. I still need to. I need to improve me overall fitness and me overall exercise. I don't think I'm ready for that at the moment. I just seem to be getting absolutely shattered for no reason. Even just driving today, I felt knackered getting out the car there, and I've just been sat down listening to music. Really, no big deal. But I suppose anyone have little periods where everything is going to be absolutely exhausting. So I'm not really bothered as long as I'm healthy. Um, yeah, I am definitely on it now. I know what's what. I know what's happening. I know what I did wrong. Well, one of the many things I've done wrong in my life. And I know how to avoid, at least put myself back in that situation. We're getting there, bit by bit. It's bloody tiring though. But I have this to look forward to, which I think is fantastic. My daughter did actually speed up a little bit when they were in Asda. She got back in the car. They sort of never run, but they walked fairly quickly to the car. She went, are you trying to get home early because you're on a live? I went, yeah, yeah. But I was telling her it was going to be within about 20 minutes of getting in the car. But yeah. Ewan, how you doing, mate? Did you have a good day yesterday? A good birthday? Did you manage to get any jelly beans? Any cake? Back at work, weren't you, today? Good sign, that, mate. Good sign. I'd like to see that. Not that everyone wants to get into work, because I'm in no rush to get back into the office myself, but when you've missed it, it is nice to get back and to see your mates and what have you. So, yeah, I'll tell you what, mate, it's better than being in hospital, isn't it? Being in work. Going again tomorrow as well, is right. You'll soon be back in the full swing of things. Jess is out with her mates. Yeah, I know. I was the one who had to deliver her. I had to drop her off after picking her up and traipsing here, there and everywhere. And if at the moment she was going to be so bleeding long, I could have run into Asda while I was there and got me goods for this evening. Whereas I'm going to finish on this, go and have a shower, and then have to go to Tesco, because that's just how my days seem to go these days. Get up, drive, go home, eat porridge and then work, wait for the phone, go and pick up child, and then put my feet up and wait for MASH. Louise, you've been out of the office for 3.5 years. Do you know what, to be honest, I'm not far off. Last year, from, I think it was July-ish, yeah, July to August, when I had the stroke, July, August, those 2 months, I was back in the office and I must have went in about 10 times at most. And that was the only time in the office within the 3.5 years, from March 2020 onwards. So again, I'm not really looking forward to it. My blue badge will be arriving fairly soon though, so if I do have to go in, I can park near the office. That is going to be a huge weight off my mind. Not having to get on public transport with the little feral rats who live between where I do and the office. So, Lizzie, we left you alone yesterday, but we're back on it now. Get your blue badge sorted. Oh, and by the way, I sent Ed another playlist, which he's going to have a listen to. Hopefully you'll find some good stuff in that, things that you might like. It's not all shoegaze. There might be one or two in there, but you never know. You might find some decent stuff. And I've got loads more playlists to share. So hopefully you might have some new music blaring out for you. Mandy knitting jelly beans. What a great idea. That way, if you get any just random bright colour and a potato is not on the horizon, it can be a jelly bean. Happy days. Good thinking. Lizzie, no problem at all. These are all my playlists on Spotify, which I'm quite happy to share with anyone. Is I use it as a diary. Like, I was in the car yesterday with Jess and her mates, and it was just song after song that was reminding me of where I was and what I was doing at the time. They got out, and the next song that came on was Doris Day. There Once Was a Man, which is a show tune from a film. I thought if they would have heard that, they would have just started laughing their heads off. But for me, it reminded me where I was. I was watching BBC4, and it was a documentary on film music and its development over the years. But I like leaving stuff in there because it's random, it's a bit weird, but it is a reminder of what I was up to at the time. Uh, yep, you see you soon, mate. Go and get yourself some jelly beans. You deserve them. Putting up with my gobshite of a daughter. He's a braver man than me, mind you. You know, he's doing it through choice. I'm stuck with her. Ridiculous. She's um, she's got purplish hair today. I think it's going to be platinum blonde tomorrow, and I don't know what it's going to be the day after. But I've been warned. And she seemed surprised that I wasn't bothered. Her mum apparently gets a little bit wound up by her changing her hair colour all the time, but it's hair, innit? If it's ruined, you can just change it again or whatever. It's hers. She's 17. She can do what she bleeding likes with it. I asked. Mandy's wool is potato coloured. Is that true, or are potatoes wool coloured? Do we know? Oh, I was having a look yesterday. I think on Botrix I can put a poll up as well on the screen. So if you ever have any polls that we need to ask, things like, is wool potato coloured or are potatoes wool coloured, we can put them on the screen. I haven't got around to doing it yet though, because I was scared in case I accidentally deleted everything. So a quick look while I'm here. Just click on the loyalty. Oh, we're all doing well here. We're all doing well. Although Hadwick's nowhere to be seen. She must be busy. She's missing out because Mandy and Lizzie are at the top of the table on level pegging, and they're doing well there. Mandy, the reason why I think you're knitting them is because it's addictive. Not just the process of knitting, it's what comes out at the other end, and they are fabulous looking things. You should be proud of them. Definitely. Hair always grows out, and you can always cut it off. Yeah, I mean, I had mine purple, which I think I might do again fairly soon. Purple for the Stroke Association colours. That was, I don't know if it was in one of the videos actually, wasn't it, where I mentioned it. When my daughter came to see me, there was a nurse in there, a really lovely nurse. She had purple hair, and it's the colour of the Stroke Association. I just thought it'd be nice when I get out as a little reminder to myself of what I've been through, of doing it purple. Just so I've got a few pictures, and in the future I'll be able to look back and go, oh yeah, look, I managed to get through all this. Plus it'll be a nice reminder of that one particular nurse, but she'll stand as a bit of a figurehead for the rest of the nurses. So I think I might do that again. I thought I looked alright with purple hair. I didn't look like one of those the old grannies that get on the bus with the shopping trolley with the purpley pink rinse that they have. I'll waggle what... no, I won't waggle what I feel like at you, Mandy. We'll rephrase that one. Certainly not live on... I keep saying... I'm always going to say television. It's not television, is it? Certainly wouldn't do anything like that on the tube of you. Not a chance. Yep. Casper, thankfully, the nurse wasn't called Leppy. That's a weird one, that. I mean, murder's wrong at the best of times, isn't it? But I think we can all agree with that one. Murdering children is 100 times worse, and then when it's a woman that does it, for some reason it just seems even worse than that, because women are supposed to be that nurturing and caring by nature. To have none of that within you, to be able to do what she's done, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Weird. Very, very weird. And even worse, the fact that there's loads of people who were sort of talking up about it, saying that she can't be trusted, or you need to look at these things. If they'd have looked when they got told, a lot of this wouldn't have happened. Very strange. No doubt it'll make for a good made-for-TV film at some point in the future. There's been a few of them, hasn't there, on... Is it ID or one of those Sky channels? You had the woman who stabbed her husband, the Bubble and Squeak murders. Or murder, rather, there's only one of them. She killed him over Christmas and had just no remorse whatsoever. So that got turned into a 6-part series. There's another one coming up now with the body in the suitcase. That really, really nice girl. Wouldn't say boo to a goose. Dead friendly and happy. Ended up killing a roommate. Bastard lunatics. Yeah, Lizzie, I'm the same myself. I don't mind. I watch loads of murder stuff. I'll quite happily watch mafia bosses blowing each other up live on telly if need be. Doesn't bother me in the slightest. But when kids are involved, it knocks me sick just even thinking about it. Never mind watching it. I think most people have had kids. Even if you haven't had kids, it does. I think it affects people. But once you've had kids yourself, that idea of letting anyone hurt them is beyond me. And then for you or your partner to go and hurt your own children, I just don't get it at all. Who's the other one? That lunatic in Derby, Mick Philpott. Remember him? Proper chav. Set fires at the house with all the kids in it, and only a handful of his 27 kids, or whatever it was he had, managed to get out. Just burned children alive. Absolutely disgusting. I think he was another one now that was on the radar, wasn't he? He'd done something before. He'd been in jail before for doing something. These people, you should be keeping an eye on them. Yeah, was that it? 6 of his kids? Yeah, it was Casper, wasn't it? 6 of them he burned to death. So not just killed them in one of the most horrific ways I can imagine. That's just, yeah, horrible, horrible people. And yet we seem to think, if you watch the telly that I do overnight, it's all just America. Oh, by the way, Daniel, Maryland gets mentioned a hell of a lot in these murder programs. I don't know if it's just because I know you now, that it's like when you buy a car, you don't see one. And as soon as you buy one, everyone's driving the same car as you. I don't know if it's that, but there seems to be a lot of Maryland turning up on buried in a backyard and kill thy neighbour and what have you. It's just very strange. But it's not just America that does this. Obviously, we have more than our fair share of absolute lunatics over here. Unfortunately. Must be something in the water. I suppose they've got them everywhere, haven't they, all over the world. Mandy, you sat next to a woman who laughed at the fact that she accidentally stabbed her partner in the eye with a pair of scissors. How did you manage to do that? What was the story behind that? I was trying to trim his eyebrows with a pair of garden shears and accidentally stabbed him 600 times in the face. Lizzie, America does have the highest number of psychopaths. I'm not sure it is per capita, but it is different that our psychos over here can't just go to Asda, get the weekly shopping and buy an assault rifle. So there's a different level when you get over there, unfortunately. I seen this something earlier on. It was another shooting as well, wasn't there? Another school shooting today or yesterday. And it was showing you video of kids having to jump out of the windows to get to safety. Like a first or second story window. At what point did he just say, do you know what? The amendment was an amendment. It can be amended again. You can't be going around with this much access to firearms. You don't need armor-piercing bullets and assault rifles to protect your house. Not a chance. It needs to stop. I won't get on my soapbox though because it's a bit too early yet. I'm trying to avoid soapbox moments. Not sure how well they go down, you see. Louise, your ex-husband's partner got murdered. It's horrible, isn't it? The pub that we live in, or lived in rather, when we first moved to Southport, when we first moved, there was a lovely lady that was used to work in the kitchen, and her son murdered his wife and cut her up in the bath and just delivered it all around Southport, little bits. I don't think a head's ever been found. I don't think some other bits have ever been found, but yeah, Mitchell Quay. He used to come in the pub a lot. So did she, the girl that he killed. But his mum, absolutely lovely lady, and I don't know. I don't think she's alive anymore. But if not, I think it would have killed her anyway because to have that in your family, horrible. Not just the fact that he killed his wife, the fact that he lied about it, and was playing psychological games with the police, and that got his brother to help. His brother was an apprentice butcher, and he got him to help him cut her up in the bath. You know, you can just phone the police and say, right, I've had an argument and I've accidentally gone too far and killed my wife, hold my hands up, right, I've got to pay the consequences. To cut the body up, it's just, you've got to have something wrong with you to do that. Right, Casper, statistically 1 in 100 is a psychopath. That will come as great solace to Embrace the Suck 21, knowing that there's 1,000 psychopaths within their subscriber base. Whew. Yeah, I'll be checking the bushes twice as much now. Yes, the bot doesn't understand, does it? The timing. Come on, Botrix, get your act together. AI must be able to hear what's going on in the conversation. 4 in 100 hybristophiliac women attracted to violent psychopaths. I can believe that. Purely from the amount of marriages on death row, or amount of relationships on death row, just seem to be attracted to absolute vermin. I know we all that old saying that women love a bastard. Right, there's a bastard who goes out and comes home 2 hours later than he said he would, and then there's someone like who's on death row for being a serial killer. So, it is levels. I don't think that's the kind of level that you should be working towards. Definitely. I wonder if there's something I can do with Botrix where I can just touch a button and say, right, just hang fire. We're in the middle of something serious here now, or we're at one of those junctures in the conversation. David James, the goalkeeper, yes. I don't know if he is a functioning psychopath, but I know he was responsible for the death of someone as well, wasn't he? Don't know if he was driving or he was in the car. It was his car being driven, but he was responsible for someone losing their life. He was also a Liverpool goalkeeper. So there you go. That's all you need to know. That's the only evidence that you need to know. Mandy, as long as the bot keeps levelling you up, doesn't matter at what point he jumps in, just jump in with the points, lad. Let's have a look where we're up to. Well, everyone's gained points, so the psychopath angle must be a lucrative angle for us here. We'll keep talking about that. What is the difference between a functioning psychopath and a criminal psychopath? Is it just that one doesn't do criminal stuff? Is it that basic? You can get on with life without having to go to extremes, whereas the other one just does whatever they feel like and to hell with the consequences. Right, so Lizzie never understood the being attracted to bastards thing. Yeah, men going for loony women. See, yeah, there's I don't get it myself either. It's more trouble than they're worth for both sides of that sort of equation. I don't know. I think I had one fella who I know who was with a bit of a lunatic of a woman, pretty violent, and I think she used to stab him and stuff, and it was a real bad relationship. And I think his only explanation for being with her was she was a great shag. Is that it? Like, is that literally it? The only reason you're together is because she's good in bed? You could wake up dead one morning, so to speak. It's nothing is worth that. And I don't know if it's them two that caused it in each other, or she's just a lunatic in the first place. But No, you don't stick around for anything like that. People should have more respect for themselves. Right, so David James was on a programme about psychopaths and he's been diagnosed with it. Didn't feel elation when his team wins and doesn't care when you lose. That would be very, very rare in football. To make it as far as he did, to get to the very top of the game, you have to have that, not just a will to win, it's an obsessive will to win. My dad had it. And my dad will tell you himself he wasn't the best footballer in the world. He got told he'd never make a footballer as long as he got a hole in his ass. Those are the exact words one of the youth coaches said to him. But he just wouldn't have it. He carried on and carried on and carried on, and he ended up going, almost played for England. You know, he played at a very, very top level because he wouldn't get told no, and he hated losing. We used to have a table tennis table when we lived in the Netherlands, and he used to beat me all the time to the point where I was crying, but he wouldn't let me win ever. It was a life's lesson that needed to be learned. Not only would he beat me, he would then go and get a spoon and beat me with a spoon rather than a bat. Just, it's like he was playing a story that he used to like to tell. He was playing Monopoly, I think it was, with his sisters when he was fairly young. Because he was losing, he ate the dice, and a couple of days later he said they come out as a double six. It just tells you this kind of his mentality. But yeah, to make that kind of level, normally you've got to have an unshakable belief and a will to win. So if he's just going into games and then got beat, so what? That is very strange. So I can see the functioning side of things because he definitely had a very, very good career. Fair play. Lizzie, right. I'm sure you could get that kind of treatment off another woman without having to put up with the putting your life on the line every time you said hello. This filthy, but there's also waking up in the morning. I think I'd rather wake up in the morning. Some couples are definitely, Mandy, some couples are definitely toxic. The individuals are okay with different people. I've definitely seen that. There's some where they're oil and water, there's some where they are fire and petrol. And at times you think to yourself, they probably are better off together because they will kill each other, but it will save two other poor bastards from being involved with them. Oh, Casper, your dad will make you write 250 times what you did wrong. See, I don't think my dad would have done that to me because I was such a smart bastard. I'd just write down nothing 250 times because, I didn't do anything wrong, no matter what you said. Yeah, two highly strung ones together, it goes bang. Not normally a good thing as well, that. Certainly not if they're your mates. Been out after work with loads of mates, because that's what our particular building used to do. You finish at 7 o'clock and pretty much the entire 500 people just walk to the pub next door. And you've been out with people who have just having screaming matches in the pub. You think, why are you two together? What is the point? This can't be any good for either of you. You can't be getting anything from it at all, apart from you're too lonely not to be together. Stupid. Yeah, not good, that. Kids sometimes have to be punished, but there's ways of doing it. I don't think that seems to be a particularly good way of doing it. Writing things out 250 times. I was going to say not like at school. We never had that at school ourselves either. But it's something obviously like Bart Simpson writing on the chalkboard in The Simpsons. No, wouldn't be having that. Lizzie, you should be thankful for that. If your dad never told you off, talking to you about what happened and explaining why it was wrong, that was the kind of way I've tried to go with Jess. That educational side of thing, you can't be doing that, and this is the reason why. And trying to foster a little bit of empathy. would you like it if it was you and someone was doing this to you, trying to get her to understand it? And to be honest with you, I don't know if it's down to me or it's down to other people or it's just down to her as a person, but she seems to have a fair bit of empathy for a kid of her age, which is something I'm really proud of. If I've played any part in that, I'll be happy with that. Lizzie, yeah. But see, that's the thing. If that's the way you've been taught by your dad, that's the way you're supposed to behave, and that's something that worked with you. It's no wonder that's the way that you take it on to the next generation. So Ed and Tom should be happy they've got you in their corner, but also should know that they can't take the piss, but you will explain to them what's wrong and why things are wrong, not just give them a bollocking. Bollockings don't really work, do they? Let's be honest. In any walk of life, I know some football managers like to do it to their players. Occasionally that works if they need G'ing up, but long term, never works. It's just a short term salve. Yeah, Mandy, people do need to be taught actions have consequences. I don't think that happens enough nowadays. Genuinely. I was parked up earlier on when Jess was doing her shopping, and there was some girl with a kid in a pram, and the kid was screaming, and the way she never hit the kid, or she wasn't really shouting back at him, but I was thinking there's a way of dealing with this, and pretending to walk away from the pram while this kid was then getting more and more agitated, that's not the way to do it. And she was wearing a juicy tracksuit with a massive dead high ponytail. Yeah, there's Little Britain all over. There's got to be ways of dealing with kids. Try and talk to them, not like the kids, but like they're little humans. Not necessarily start talking to them about agricultural policies in the Ukraine and things like that, but speak to them like they've got a little bit of sense about them. I used to try and talk to Jess the same thing, like she was a little human, a little an apprentice adult. And to be honest, I think she ended up with a fairly good vocabulary at the time because I was using words that was a bit higher than she was getting in school, but she understood what they meant. So if you try and do that and speak to them a little bit more, give kids a bit more credit than possibly other people do, or especially the schools do. They're not stupid. Just by your tone, they'll get onto what you're trying to say to them, and I put two and two together. And again, I think that's because my dad especially used to talk to me like that. I used to be in the players' lounge after games with him and other footballers. These are all athletes, people that were on Match of the Day, big, strong, intimidating men. But there was a huge sense of camaraderie between them, and they all spoke well and they all had respect. I think back then there was a huge amount of respect in football, not just for each other or for the teams, but when you're in the players' lounge, have respect for the other players' wives and kids and people working behind the bar or the staff who were cleaning up and things like that. So I was sort of dragged along with that. I was listening to adult conversation and being part of it, and occasionally being involved in those conversations, but also learning how to be respectful, how to talk to people, how to listen. That's a huge thing I don't think kids get taught these days. It must be more difficult than it was when I was growing up because I wasn't sat there just like that while someone's talking to me. Nowadays you struggle to get through to people. Not just kids, just anyone you're talking to. Within seconds, that you can see them itching to check the phone. Has there been another email? Is it that important? What are you waiting for? I might get 10% off. Really? Idiots. Yeah, man, the kids are little humans, but not everyone speaks to them like they are. Sometimes they'll talk to them like they're little monsters or, the spawn of Satan. If you treat kids like little bastards, they behave like little bastards. Treat them like little humans, they might turn into little humans, ones that you can be proud of. Not really my soapbox moment, but I really do believe in that. I think you can teach kids by your manner, not just what you say, the way you say things as well. And if they see you as a parent screaming and shouting at them or the brother and sister, that's the way they think. That's how your parents. That's the only way you can be. If you're not getting your own way, scream. No, have a conversation, explain things. Kids are not daft. You can explain things to them, and if you haven't got the ability to explain to a kid what it is you mean, then you're probably not mature enough to have kids in the first place. That's what I think. But who am I to say? You have kids, don't you? Hopefully having kids will should drag the parents a level or two above what they were just by having them. Oh, Lizzie, yeah, the lack of parenting you see is abominable. I'm the same myself. Who was it who done that? It's a comedian. I'm trying to think it was. It might have been Lucy Porter. It was a female comedian. It was going on about seeing people shopping and they're screaming at them in the shops. You're making a show of me. Really, the kid's making a show of you. You're the one who's screaming in the middle of Iceland. Yeah, ridiculous. Middle class parents around there just want to be mates with the kids, so the kids are brats. I don't think there's anything wrong with being mates with your kids as long as there's a time to switch that over to, right, we've had our little bit of fun now, but don't forget I am also your parent and you will listen to what I'm telling you. Again, I think that's part of what I try and do. My daughter is my mate, but at the end of the day, if something needs to be said, it will be said and she will understand that's what the score is right now. We'll be mates, but don't take the piss. Because I'm also bigger than you. And I'll duff you up. Man, seeing kids in pubs running riot and adults doing nothing. Lived in pubs for all those years and I used to hate it. I'm walking around with glasses and there's kids banging into you. And if you say to the parents, can you keep these quiet? You're the one who's in the wrong. Really, if one of these comes round in a minute and smashes into me while I've got glasses in my hand and cuts the head open, who are you going to be screaming at? Get a grip of them or sod off. Hate it. Casper used to sleep out in the prams in winter. I don't think I'd fancy being outside in the winter, never mind in a pram in the winter. In those Nordic and Germanic countries. No, Netherlands was bad enough, I'd say, in Holland. I can imagine Denmark being further north would be even worse. Ewan's back with no jelly beans. This is an absolute disaster. We can't have this. Do we need to get Bob Geldof to put a gig together? Jelly bean aid. I could probably pick some up later because I've still got to go to Tesco, which I would have gone to earlier on, only Jess had me running around like a knobhead. Yeah, good point. As Mandy said, what did you get instead, Ewan? What did we get? What's our prizes? What have we got? Lizzie, I will get jelly beans later on when I go to Tesco and I will leave them in the car. I'll hide them out the way and the next time Ewan's in the back I'm giving him a lift. Ewan, you will have jelly beans, mate. I will make sure they're in the car for you. You covered up except your face. Right, I would suppose in Denmark you can leave kids in prams outside stores. You couldn't do that here because they'd just go missing straight away or they'd be sold on the dark web. Such is the United Kingdom. You can't trust anything. Yeah, I mean, even when I was growing up in the 70s, you could leave prams outside, and if normally there's some nosy old woman walking past, she'd make sure that the pram was looked after. Now, if anything was going on, someone would just walk past it. Too busy on the phone or don't want to get involved. So we can't afford to be doing that now. Mandy prefers jelly babies to jelly beans. Have you knitted jelly babies before? I don't know if I like jelly babies or not. I can't remember. Which are the ones that have got the weird powder on them? I don't trust that. It's like they've been in a dusty attic. What's the powder? The powder to stop them sticking together, I suppose, isn't it? Otherwise, they just congeal into one lump. But I don't trust it. It's the same kind of powder that you get on the inside of balloons or footballs. The bladder inside a football, when they burst, a lot of powder comes out. Jelly tots, I think you can also get the massive ones, can't you? They're about that big, just a single massive jelly tot. But I'm going to look tonight, because our Tesco has got a massive sweet selection, which I have regular reason to be walking through, because I have to go and get me cereal bar stuff. Oh, me cereal bars. Oh man, tried to go to Tesco yesterday after picking Jess up, and I forgot it was a bank holiday. Despite the fact that I've been off all day, I should know it's a bank holiday. I wasn't working, and it was too late, and Tesco was closed. So I managed to hot foot it round to the Asda, which I didn't realise was still open till 8 o'clock. But I got in there at 7:30 and just about managed to get me stuff. And I went and got the Grays cereal bar stuff. They've normally got the blueberry ones in Tesco. They had lemon and blueberry in Asda, and also cherry Bakewell ones. Oh my word. I had 2 boxes earlier on. Fit. And I was outside Asda earlier on. I could have shot in there quick and got another haul. Terrible behaviour. Right, see you later, Ewan. Ta-ra, mate. Flying saucers, naughty communion. Being an atheist, I'd say all communions are naughty. My family are all Orange Lodge, which I'm the firstborn son not to be called William, because my dad just went, this is utter shit, it needs to stop now. We used to drink in an Orange Lodge club, which my family still do. And some of the people in there got an absolute bollocking off the committee for having communion on a Sunday. They'd have someone under the dartboard with cheese and onion quavers and a pint of bitter. And they said it was sacrilegious and very offensive, to which everyone just laughed it off. But, yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that, but I thought it was quite funny. I like being irreligious. Them sauces, though. Mandy, what are you on about? Do you split the sauces, or all in, or bite the end off and empty? I've never ever thought that deeply into it. And Louise, Mandy, all in. Right. Oh no, sorry, Kirsty. Mandy, all in. Louise, go on, answer. We need to know. How do you like your flying saucers? I just thought it was pop and melt. Didn't realise there was other ways of tackling a flying saucer. All in and dissolve, there you go. The correct way. Mandy, you are, I don't want to say you're weird, but you're fucking weird, lah. If you're doing anything other than in and dissolve, gotta be watched, you, I'm telling you. Lizzie, you took communion and you're not even Catholic. You wanted to know what Christ tastes like. He tasted a bit dry. Yeah. Yes, Mandy, you are weird. Don't go changing. Nothing wrong with being weird. Being normal. It's not for everyone. It shouldn't be, because there's no need for it. Life's interesting. We should be interesting. All of us. I mean, I'm wearing an FC20 away shirt and pink shorts. Because why not? Why the hell not? You like nibbling all the chocolates off Kit Kats. Yeah, do you know what? I know more than one person who does that. Lizzie, Christ was dry and boring. I suppose if you'd been nailed to a cross in the sun, you would dry out a little bit. It's weird, isn't it? I mean, let's be honest, religion as a whole is weird anyway. The things they try and get you to believe are all just bizarre, but the idea that it's the body of Christ and the blood of Christ, and you're telling this to kids, this is the body of Christ, and by the way, it's wrong to lie. We tell kids that, don't we? We tell kids that it's wrong to lie. This is about 10 minutes after telling them about Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy, but it's wrong to lie. We are wrong. As a species, we are wrong. The religion for me, it is completely bonkers. I used to have mates in school who were proper fundamentalist Christians, and then trying to talk to them was like pulling teeth. So, the earth is 6,000 years old. Mate, there's trees older than that in this country. No, there isn't. What about the dinosaurs? Well, God made the earth with a history. You can't make something with a history. For it to be history, it has to have happened. No. So what about the talking snake? Oh yeah, definitely talking snake. Yeah, 400-year-old man. Moses, 400-year-old. Yeah. All the animals 2x2 on an ark. How big was the ark? Okay. How about the lions and tigers and antelopes all getting on like a house on fire? Nobody eating each other. No. The ark, all the insects on the earth couldn't fit on the ark 2x2. Never mind the animals. Oh, Mandy. Oh, sorry. Lizzie does that with the Kit Kats. Right, do you? Right, so in sync yet again. And you space your bites on Twixes to hit the dips in the biscuit. That's some effort, that is some effort. Right, I'm going to say that you're weird as well, Lizzie. Right, just saying that. Crunchies. I love crunchies. John Marco Allegro. Never heard that name. I studied the Dead Sea Scrolls. I have to have a look into that. Father Christmas is real and no one's going to tell you any different, Lizzie. Fair enough. Do you believe? Do you truly believe? If you believe, he is real. Although, I don't like the idea of some dirty old man coming down your chimney to empty your sack once a year, so, nah. Come and sit on my knee, little girl. Yeah. Should have worked for the BBC, really, shouldn't he? Yep, that's why there's no unicorns. Because then, obviously, when they had the ark, the earth got flooded and everything died, apart from obviously anything that could swim, float, fly. An albatross can go around for 7 or 8 years without having to land. Fishes, ducks, just makes no sense. Where's all that water go to? I mean, if you want to cover Mount Everest with water, and the whole of the earth would have to be covered in that amount of water, it'd have to go somewhere. Where is it? I want to know where it is. Santa fell off your roof and died when I was younger. Is that right, Kirsty? I'll be surprised if he hadn't fell off a couple of roofs in Liverpool. You know, those ones that there's snow on every roof apart from one in the street, which is where the police go and do their knock. Hello, can we come and check your crop for you? Lizzie, you embrace your weirdness, a proud and radiant part of you, as you should, and you should be proud of it. I like the weirdness. I like anyone who's got a bit of personality about them. Which is why, again, back to my daughter, she's got that little bit of weirdness about her at times. I never ever thought it was weird, though. I thought it was personality. Just that nice way of seeing things slightly differently, or not being afraid to be yourself. I don't mind that. I quite like that. Oh, the real Ark of the Covenant, that radioactive stuff in Eritrea. Um, I did see. I can't think what it was. I seen a program on. Someone was doing a religious tour, and they went to Eritrea, and it was crazy. The amount of people that were there, the amount of security. You can't go in the building, can you? Um, where it's supposed to be. Oh, it's just religion. It's a cult, isn't it? It's just a cult in general. It's a way for the smart to coerce and control the stupid. Well, that's how it started off anyway. Which is why, I mean, we have a Viking in the chat with us. But the Vikings used to think that during a solar eclipse, that was the god, that was Odin closing his eyes and going to sleep. So they would scream and scream and scream until he opened his eyes again, which he always did because obviously the moon had gone across then from the sun, and so his eye came back open. Years later, we realised it's not Odin's eye, it's the sun and the moon. So we can grow up from that. We can say, well, that was wrong. We were wrong about that. It's science. But too many people just think, no, no, religion's religion. And the Bible is the exact word of God, really. Why has it got King James Version on the front of it? Did the King James think this is what God meant to say? I don't think I've got the balls to do that myself. There you go. Where are we? Yep. Normal is boring. You are right, Lizzie. Absolutely 100%. Mandy, you don't get to see my vibrator today. Well, you don't see it in action anyway. But let's have a look. Don't forget I've only got one arm that works. This is it. So it's got a little thing on the back that hooks over the seat, and you can put it in your car or you can put it on the office chair. Ooh. Comes a little controller, and it's got a timer, 15 or 30 minutes. It's got function lists, 8 preset functions, 3 levels of intensity, and it's got heat. So not only does it vibrate, it also gets warm. And for someone who was in absolute agony pretty much all day today, with me left leg being numb, hypersensitive and cramp pains all at once, I might have to put that on later on. Shoulder sore as well. Me bad shoulder. I say me bad shoulder, they're both bad because me right one, I was made to sit at a desk in work that was too low, and I've ended up doing irreparable damage to my shoulder and back, which is why now they make sure I've got a decent chair and I've got a desk that rises up and down. But yeah, I could put it on here, but the noise is absolutely incredible out of it. You wouldn't hear a word I was saying, it's that loud. Well, it was on the bed anyway, but I suppose the bed's got the mattress with the springs and things that will make things sound louder. Lizzie, you've got one of them, have you? They're definitely worth getting. B&Q do them. I got mine off Amazon because it's next day delivery. Even though it wasn't next day delivery, it was a few days, and it was the quickest way of getting them. The B&Q don't do them to go into the shop and buy. You have to order them to be delivered. But I put it on the other day and it was good. And it's got a separate adapter, one for inside the house where you plug it into the wall, and one where you put it in the car. The cigarette lighter, the 12 volt. Worth every penny. The massage chair things too. Do you bruise easily, Lizzie? Is that because I know I do, and my ex-wife did, and my daughter does. I think she's just inherited that from us. If any of us walk past the table and accidentally bang into it, massive bruises for weeks afterwards. It's strange how that works. Other people, be in a car crash 7 times a day, not a scratch on them. Kirsty, you got a massage chair as well. All it does is vibrate you. It's supposed to do you good though. That sonic vibration through the muscles. Worth having a go, definitely. Lizzie, you've got electric heat pads. Are they any good then? Um, I know I use the throwaway ones, the little Cura heat stick on when I'm a little bit sore. I've got them. I might have to look into them as well actually. Uh, that bruising easy. Yeah, I think I might be sort of 95% giraffe, 5% peach. So I'm torn on a bruise very easily. But it's good we can get stuff like that nowadays. Just think about when, well, I don't know, we were growing up or our parents were growing up. There was absolutely nothing like this at all. I mean, literally nothing like it at all. Now you can get on your phone, order something that's delivered the following day, and you're sorted. I've got my heat lamp in the corner of the room. Proper, well, really strong, bright red light heat lamps. Oh, wonderful at times, but that normally has to be done after the shower. Get in there, get warmed up before you use the heat lamp. Might have to do that later because my shoulder really is sore today, and I've done nothing. Yeah, humans and giraffes have the same number of vertebrae. That's in the neck, isn't it? 7, I think it is. Which is strange when you have a look at the size of a giraffe's neck compared to a human's. But 7, it's supposed to be the god number, isn't it? But 7 seems to be a number that repeats in nature quite a lot. Quite a lot of numbers repeat in nature. Obviously there's the Fibonacci sequence that repeats in loads of things, like conch shells, things like that get built to a Fibonacci sequence. Watched a fantastic thing, a BBC4 documentary on numbers, the weirdness of numbers, and things like the shape and size of the honeycomb in hives. They're absolutely perfectly symmetrical and perfectly sized. And it's just bizarre that no matter how big the bees or overall size of the bees are, they always seem to be the same size because they're just the right size for the hive. Strange. Platypus, there's only 6, most mammals have got 7. Platypus are weird. Kirsty, you seen that one, did you? Yeah, I thought it was really interesting. Was that the one that had the fellow with the blowing bubbles? And when you put 2 bubbles together, it comes up with a square. Put 3, it comes up with a pyramid. And then you just add more bubbles. And each bubble you add, it's a different shape. And that's sort of how you end up with the Giant's Causeway. Absolutely fascinating. I love stuff like that. If ever I was struggling to sleep, I'd put a documentary on like that, and then I'd either be so enthralled I'd forget about going to sleep at all, or just the way they talk, dead natural and mellow, I'd be asleep within minutes. Yeah, I'll see if I can find out what it was called. But there's loads of stuff on BBC4, probably on the iPlayer, loads of documentaries. The Science of Heat with Dr. Helen Chersky. That was a good little series. Definitely worth watching. Ooh, hang on. What have I missed there? Oh yeah, prime numbers. Heat pads are that's a heat pads are brilliant. They've got 3 heat settings and they turn off after an hour so you don't set yourself on fire. Always a good thing. They're amazing because you can put them anywhere and they plug into the mains. Well, being male, I'll tell you right now, I am not putting something anywhere if it plugs into the mains. If it's short, I don't want it around the short and curlies, not a chance. I will have to have a look into those heat pads. It's the kind of thing, if I'm lying in bed and I'm feeling really sore, heat pads plugged into the matrix might just work for me. So I might have to ask you where you got them from soon. Although Amazon will have them, won't they? Amazon have everything. You could probably get a rocket launcher if you wanted on Amazon. Lizzie, thank you very much. If you want to send a link, I will definitely be looking into that one. Need all the help I can get. Casper's on the hardware, the software. Just don't software the hardware. Yeah, I'd like that. Hopefully, I do find it. I've been having a few problems sleeping. Sort of the last 6 months compared to the previous 6 months. Hang on, was it 6 months? No, probably about 4 months compared to the previous months. The pain isn't there anymore that used to be there. I struggled to sleep at times in the past because of the pain. I'd be awake for like 20 minutes and then go back to sleep. But my sleep overall was sound, whereas lately, I don't know, it seems to be niggling at me a little bit. I know I've been waking up in desperate need of a pee of a morning, but I think that's more to do with my age, not anything else. But yeah, the boss has just turned up. There's no reason or rhyme as to a boss Ricks. I had another look at StreamerBot earlier on to see if there was something that could do, but it seems to be just a little bit too involved. Kirsty, if I want to talk at stupid o'clock, you are awake. We have noticed. Yeah, fair enough. You may well be getting a message off me at about 4 or 5 in the morning. That's what happens. I put me where are we? Oh, it looks like underwear, but it's not. The face mask with Bluetooth earphones. I absolutely hammered that while I was in the hospital. Put it on over my eyes, cover the light out, put the music on. So I still do that now, and I put me white noise on. The sound of the car driving if I'm struggling to sleep. It's strange. Not sure I really need it, but I just like to have it. Just sends me off slightly. Get your prostate checked. Me? I think my prostate's alright. What isn't is me back and this chair. Hopefully I'll be getting a new chair, a slightly bigger one that's more malleable, one that I can control a bit more. Yeah, the constant soothing sound is supposed to help sleep. It does, really does. I have had that in the past where I have really struggled with insomnia. So I've got my own little favourite white noises, and I've got a brain. What's it called? There's certain waves, delta waves and alpha waves and beta waves that you can listen to that you can just about hear them, but it's not about hearing the noise. It's about how the pulses hit you in the brain, which I suppose I've got to be pretty careful with. But they used to work. It's just a really low, dull pulsing sound. But for the time being, I'd rather got me car. I love the sound of cars driving, of a night especially. Whenever my dad used to have to drive back to Middlesbrough, and we were in the car, it'd be dark. You'd be on the motorway doing a steady 70 mile an hour. Just that rumble, and it's at a continuous pitch. I'd fall asleep within seconds. I can still do it now as an adult. Only there's no one to drive me around for 3 hours. Unless, of course, the Lottie comes in tonight. But yeah, Louise, you have to sleep with the TV on. Um, you can't sleep if it's too quiet. I'm sure there's loads of people like that. I think my sister was like that. Uh, got to be some kind of noise. It just can't be silent. Because silence too loud. Got to have something to cut through it. I don't really do that anymore, but I did go through a brief period of the same thing. And it would be, I'd always try and put on David Attenborough. Just one of his documentaries, one of his nature show series, like Blue Planet or Planet Earth or something. And just his voice in the background, dead low. That was enough. And it just mellowed me out a little bit and sent me to sleep. There was also a good documentary on the BBC called Shark, 3-part series that was narrated by Paul McGann, and it was done in such a way that that was another one. I'd just put it on and I'd be falling asleep within seconds. Brilliant. Or another one that I like to occasionally put on is YouTube narrowboat videos, and you've got the sound of the diesel engine just like that, really mellow and low, and everyone who's on the narrowboat is dead relaxed and laid back anyway, so it's nice, chill, relaxing stuff. Casper, 8-hour chill music, it does exist. Not all of it is that good. You should definitely be doing that. Even if you set up a second channel separate to your own one and have that just specifically for doing the chill stuff, and then hammer the hashtags and tags and what have you. It's a huge market out there. It really is. There's loads of ASMR stuff. There's loads of chill things. There's things with stuff on the screen, just colours on the screen where people can look at and relax. But the music side of things, chill music, is massive on there. Tinnitus, yeah. That's. I think. I think everyone's got some form of tinnitus, whether it's a high level of it or a low level. I think everyone's got that little bit of something where, if you go somewhere that's really, really quiet, everyone can hear something that's not there. Whether it's something within their own body. I know you can go into rooms, can't you? That they've got the um, noise deadening everywhere, and it's done in such a way that there's no sound can get into it or out of it. So the only sounds that you hear are the sounds of the blood pulsing through your veins and things. People have gone into these rooms and said it's the most freaky thing they've ever heard in their life. You just hear it in your own body. Normally, there's too much noise going on, even when it's completely silent. There's still more noise going on, so you can't hear it. When you're in a room with that much sound deadening, you just hear yourself. It's bizarre. It's the earth screaming. Wouldn't surprise me. The earth should be screaming because we're ruining it. All of us. Says me, I've just been out in the car, my diesel car, sat off with the engine running like a dickhead. But, blame Jess for that. It's her fault, not mine. And she's just going to dye her hair, and all that dye will be going down the sink. I'll be killing things. It's her fault. Jess, if you're watching, you're killing the earth single-handedly. Are you proud? Tinnitus must be horrible. It's just one of those things that we know escaping from it. I mean, other things you've always got to escape. If you've got a bad back, go and have a lie down. You can get away from it slightly, I guess. But with your hearing, there's literally nothing you can do. Absolutely nothing. You can't turn it off. You can't plug your ears with, ear defenders or anything, because it's inside, isn't it? It's not outside. So you saw a reel that plants can see you if you're close enough. How? How does that work? You have to explain that one to me. Lizzie, there's 8 people in the chat and only 4 of us talking. Who are the other 4? I'm one of them. At least one of them. Because I have a phone with the chat and the screen on just to make sure it's working all right. If anything goes badly wrong, I need to know about it. So yeah, I'm one of them. Is Jack lurking in the shadows, lurking and shaking, not working. I need to be careful doing that because I do occasionally go a little bit scouser than normal. All these years of being stuck in the house through COVID has made my accent tail off slightly. Whereas before that, it was a bit more raw, a little bit more raw. You read an article that said the plants scream when they're picked or cut, like the BFG or the GVR, as I remember it. That's a weird one, isn't it? I first read the BFG and James and the Giant Peach and things like that when I was in the Netherlands. So for me, it was the GVR, the grote vriendelijke reus, which is Dutch for the big friendly giant. But yeah, strange the way it stuck in my mind. The same as Hadley was talking today about Niels Holgersen in one of the chats. And I remember reading Niels Holgersen books when I was over there. Niels Holgersen and the Wilde Gansen, which was the wild geese. I remember the front cover of it. Why do I remember that? Why is shit like that stuck in my mind? Why do I remember the phone number of the house in Middlesbrough? 465 775. By the way, if anyone's interested, why do I know these things? And yeah, there's times when I come out of Tesco and I can't remember not only which part of the car park I've parked the car in, which car park, which car I've come in. Strange. But it's just loads of these little weird things stick in my mind and come up. Oh, Lizzie's levelled up. Lizzie the leveller. By that I don't mean that you're a crusty and you stink, not like the levellers. Oh yeah. Right. Top of the table, Lizzie, level 8, 405 points. Second, Mandy, level 7, 405 points. How have you got the same amount of points but 2 different levels? I don't get this. I do not get it. How does this work? Like I said, if I do end up getting a different bot, I might not do. I might do. I don't know yet. This one's in beta. I think StreamerBot might be a bit further advanced, so I don't know. We're looking to go into that one. If I do, I will drag the points across. I'm not having everyone starting at 0 when you put loads of effort in to get to where you have. So no matter what happens, that's coming forward. I also thought as well, I don't want to copy Dan with his maps, obviously, but I'd like to copy Dan with his maps to a certain degree. Get the green screen and see if I can do an interactive map. Just occasionally focus on somewhere that someone lives rather than just having dots all over it. Just, zoom in, that's where we are today. I want to see if I can do that just from the technical side of things. Yeah, Mandy, been to more live streams. I wouldn't say just talk more shit, Mandy, because you do enough of that already. Nah, you don't talk shit, any of you at all. It's interesting. It's not shit, it's interesting. Shit is what's on TV. This isn't. This is at least. I learn things every time we have a um, any kind of stream or conversation. What the hell? Why's my phone just done that? You have a new friend suggestion. I don't think so. For reasons best kept to myself. Nah, you're alright. Other people copy Dan. I might as well too. Well, yeah, it's working for him. If you're gonna nick from someone, nick from the fella who's got 100,000 views. Must be doing something right. Yeah. It works. The only thing is though, the difference between us, I don't mind pushing buttons. Speaking of which, bit more Kipper's Corner.
Kippers kicks ass.
Right. So this young lady, at 17, a shark attack cost her a leg, and a year later she was back into the water where she almost died. Kippers, what do you think of that? Take the hint, soft shite. I would agree 100% with what Kippers has said there.
Kippers kicks ass.
I think the man's got a point. Is he a man? You know he's a bear, isn't he? Just at what point do you think to yourself, no? I understand a warning. When a warning comes my way, I'll get out. I won't go back in there. I might go on a boat, and if I do, I'll stay on the inside of the boat. I'm not going back in. Lizzie, Kippers is a harsh critic. Kippers takes no shit, and he's very, very opinionated. But that's what bears are like for you. I mean, when you were being born, if the first thing that happened to you was you were stuffed and fisted by a very uninterested man, I think you'd be opinionated and a bit harsh after that as well. I like the hoo-yah. I like the whole the karate little thing as well. I had to make that myself. You have Kippers in the fridge. Kippers is cool enough, man. Kippers is a cool dude. He is very, very opinionated, though. I also think Horace might start providing some musical interludes or musical suggestions. Horace is a very, very cool dude as well. He likes it. Just seeing if he's still there. Don't know why I'm checking because there's a telly in the way, so I can't even see what they're up to now. But Horace likes a little bit of acid jazz and things like that, you know. To be honest with you, I think Horace might partake in the Moroccan Woodbines as well. I'm not, you know, if that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do. He's 50-year-old. He can do these things. I think it's decriminalised where he comes from, so it's no big deal. As long as he's not pushing it in here. I won't have it in here. I won't have it pushed in here at all. But there you go. Let's see, I don't think Kippers is a fascist as much as hugely opinionated. And he's a diva. He believes that everything he's got in his mind needs to be said, and everything he said needs to be listened to. Which I suppose there's a hint of fascism there, isn't there? But he's equal opportunity. I mean, Horace is black and white, and he's got no issue with him, so it's not a colour thing, it's not race. Maybe it's just the fact that he's ginger, and as we all know, us gingers have got a little fiery side to us. Oh, it's getting dark. So yeah, it just might be his natural gingerness coming out. Definitely up to some. I can hear noises round there. If I get round and he's knocked shite out of Horace again, there will be trouble. He'll be sleeping in the shed. But yeah, I like the fact that he's got opinions. Kippers, you know, some bears say nothing, just sit there and gather dust. No, not our Kippers. He likes to get involved. He's got his finger on the pulse. He's out there. He's kicking indoors. He's checking out. He's checking out the news. He's creating the news. He is the news. Uh, Getting dark. It's pitch black where you are, Louise, is it? It's, well, in that direction, that's west. So the sun's gone down that way. So it's still, for the time being, that side of the sky is fairly light. But I suppose the rest of it behind here will be pitch black as well. And I'm a little bit further west than you are, aren't I? Yeah. I didn't even see what it was like earlier, whether it was a good... I don't think it would have been good for a sunset, because hasn't it been cloudy all day? I think so. Right. What's it like for the rest of the week? I haven't managed to get any decent sunsets for ages. Tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon looks nice. A little bit cloudy. I might be able to get a sunset tomorrow. But, oh, yeah. Might be okay tomorrow. And then next week looks okay, so I might be able to get some decent video. So I need some more sky pics. I tried to get some the other day, but just never turned out at all. Tried to hyperlapse when we had all those really, really mad thunderstorms. And I'd put the camera around the back and all the lighting would be that side of the house. I'd put the camera on this side of the house and all of a sudden it'd be over there. No matter where I was pointing in the wrong direction. Not good at all. Oh, Mandy, there you go. You cried that one in, didn't you? Oh yeah, sorry, just missed that. Chat's just gone through the roof. Super blue moon tomorrow. Yeah, make sure no matter where you are in the world, try and get a picture of it just to see what it's like where you are. I will be out there, and if it's okay tomorrow, I'll try and get a sunset, hyperlapse sunset followed by a super blue moon, and I won't use me AI to complete it either. I'll try and do it in the raw. By that I do mean it's a setting on the phone where it just takes in raw image rather than processed. But it does make the image size absolutely huge. So you can't take too many because you end up completely filling the image. Can't even speak English. The memory card completely fills up with images, and you've got about 4 or 5 on there, but they take up the space of about 100. Sun now sets before 8:30. I think it sets before 8:30 here as well, you know. In the good old U of K. Let's have a look. Tomorrow. Ugh, man. Why am I feeling sneezy? Oh, I doesn't even tell you anymore. But yeah, it's surprising how quickly it's gone from being dead light outside to all of a sudden it's pitch black within minutes, and it's getting earlier and earlier and earlier, and noticeably earlier every couple of days. Right, Kirsty's back. Ewan's back. Casper, yep. Make sure you go out as well and take some fantastic pictures. It is a very, very rare super blue moon. They don't happen very often. So it's something that you don't want to be sat on a sofa while it's going on outside. Make sure you get out and take a picture of it. I might have to do a little bit of digging to find out where's the best kind of direction to be looking at. Whether I need to go somewhere where it's a bit quieter. I'm going to sneeze at some point here. Oh man, I don't know what's up with me. I have got the window open now. So there might be someone outside who I'm allergic to. It's probably Jess. I'm allergic to her. Yeah, well, if you're going out soon, don't worry. Just being here is sound enough. You did miss out on Kipper's Corner, though. You'd be gutted to find out. Casper, yeah, 2 full moons in the same month. The super blue moon's different, though, because this also coincides with the moon being closest to Earth. So it's just, you get 2 full moons, but also one of them's absolutely massive. Um, you've never seen me sneeze yet. Bonus material. Do you know what? Because I had my nose broke about 4 or 5 times living in the pub. It's got like an S at the top of it, kinked, and it doesn't. It's not supposed. It didn't look like this when I was born. Obviously, it didn't look like this when I was about 20. It's looked like this since. It's got a shape to it where it goes sloped in one direction. So occasionally when I sneeze, I sound like a little kind of sort of cute hamster sneezing, that high pitched beep, and yeah, bizarre. Um, you're gonna have to watch Kipper's Corner. It's fantastic. Kipper's Corner is gonna take over. Kippers is gonna have his own merch. That's how he rolls. He's even got me looking at designs for him. The big KV with the paw print. That's going to be the next big thing. We're going to be bigger than Prada, la. Yes, my next sneeze will be in 10 years' time. You're right, Lizzie and Mandy. Yeah, that super blue moon, it is one of these very rare ones because it is. And like I said on Sunday, don't forget it, this sometime this week, uh, at the same time as a super blue moon, you will also see Saturn, which is in conjunction with the moon. But also, you will see it either side of the moon as well, so the days leading up and the days afterwards. It's as close to the Earth as it will be at any point in its cycle. So you should be able to see Saturn. You might be able to see its rings with a decent camera phone, with even a toy telescope. So if you've got any kind of decent material to look through, you should be able to see the rings of Saturn. Louise, the V is for KV, Kippers Vindaloo. That's the bear's name. And it comes from an episode of Red Dwarf where Dave Lister has curry for breakfast. See, a lot of people have curry for breakfast. He said, yeah, but Kippers Vindaloo. And as soon as I heard that name, I thought, yeah, that is the name of a strange bear. Oh, that light's starting to go a little bit weird and vibrate and shake. I don't like it. I don't know why it's doing that. I bought a power bank for the lights, so they're not plugged into the electric, and it's like a house brick. You could kickstart the earth with this. It's massive, so it shouldn't be doing that. I don't like the way it's flashing and flickering. But I will look into that tomorrow, so I can't be arsed looking into it today, and I've still got to go to Bleeding Tesco. Yeah. Yeah, Casper, we're talking about 12 to 13% bigger than when the smallest. It's substantially bigger, so it'll be noticeable. It doesn't take a huge amount for it to look bigger anyway, but when it's one of these, it really does look massive. The bulb shouldn't be going, it's a fairly new light. Although I've got 2 more there. I bought 4 of the buggers, and I've got 2 of them on me. When, let's face it, I'm the star, so I should have all the lights on me. No, but I shouldn't be doing that. I'll look into it though, I will definitely look into it. I might plug it into the electric and see if that works, but if you plug things into the electric, they have a tendency to flicker, and it works on like 60 frame rates, 60 rates per second and 50 per second. Oh, Lizzie, do you remember Kippers Vindaloo, is it? Is that what you remember? What's the Scouse la at the end of the sentences about? Or is it that la used to be short for lad. I know lad is short enough anyway. The Lars, the band, it sort of should be the lads. I like that. It's something that, yeah, it's weird, and it doesn't get used as much as it used to. Apart from us old asses, you know, I still use it. All my family, my older uncles and what have you, still gets used, and he's still at the match all the time. But the new lads coming through is just every other word is lad or bro for some reason. Hey lad, what lad? Me lad. Yeah lad, you lad. What lad? Nothing lad. Oh lad, lad. Full conversation, just everything's lad. So I'd rather use la. Know what I mean, la. But yeah, even though I try to be a little bit less scouse than I actually am naturally, because not everyone can understand what you say, and I'd rather people who are watching understood the words I was saying. I know it must be difficult. I mean, bloody hell, Daniel watching loads of English stuff. Daniel and Spencer and EB and people like that. You can see they've been listening to loads and loads of different UK comedians and TV shows because they can pick up on accents a lot easier than they used to about 2 years ago. So it is working for them, but they don't really need someone like me bouncing in, being absolutely uber scouse, because that can confuse the life out of English people, never mind Auslanders. The word for lad and castrated cat is the same word. That does not surprise me. It should be the same over here as well. That's why the lights have gone off. Why is that? That can't have worked them out. That shouldn't have gone off at all. Yeah, my plan is scuppered. I'm not happy with that. There should be far more power in that power bank. Or do I just get away with, I can only use it once and have to recharge it by putting the lights back in? Mind you, it was 2 hours the other day, wasn't it? No, Louise, it wasn't the time at that. It's run out of power. I use a power bank, like a massive battery. I thought I had more than enough power in there, but obviously not. So yeah, it's not the bulb. The bulb hasn't gone, Mandy. Don't worry. It was just low on energy, low on power. I will put that on charge as soon as I finish on here. We're suddenly on night time, haven't we? There we go. A little bit more. We've now entered the late night zone. Just take it down a little bit. Gutted with that. I might have to end up plugging them into the electrics, and we'll see whether or not it flickers on screen. Unfortunately, I bought a really Boss floodlight, real bit, covered the entire room in colour. It was fantastic. But whenever you put it on and tried to record a video or something, it was just flickering on the screen. It looked awful, to the point where you could end up giving someone a seizure. So we don't want that. Yeah, Lizzie, it is looking suspiciously like a lair, isn't it? What I need now is a white cat. I can look truly evil. I do like, I liked all my colouring lighting behind me. When I had the moon and the northern lights, I do like that in the background. But apparently, according to those in the know on YouTube, the light has got to be on me rather than the background. So it makes me pop. But as you can see, because I've got those lights either side of me now, I'm not really sticking out from the background as much as I was. That needs to be changed, definitely. What are we on in? Oh, right, we've already done an hour and a half, and I need to go out. So I must start getting prepared to finish this particular stream. Cause I need to get out. I also need to have a shower as well, and do some other little bits and pieces that I should have done during the day and then didn't, because I was a useless, lazy, idle, melty-faced bastard on the sofa all day, and we can't have that. Ewan's back outside, but in the wilderness. Southport Wilderness has to be seen to be believed. Just hanging out. A minister in Welsh is a whiny dog. Whiny dog. What? A minister in Welsh is a wiener dog? Welsh language is strange, but absolutely brilliant at times. I love it. I love the fact that they have, if you go there, obviously Mandy will tell you living there, a lot of the road signs are in both English and Welsh. So if you go to Wrexham, it will have Wrexham written in Welsh, which is Wrexham, and then it will be written in English, which is Wrexham. There's no X over in Welsh, obviously it's CS instead, but if you can't work out that this is Wrexham just by looking at one of them two, you don't need both. It's just a waste of time. It's a waste of paint to give that paint to someone else. But yeah, I do like it, and I like having Araf written on the roads when you need to stop or slow down or whatever it is. Whiner, not wiener. I know, but I was just taking a piss. Like a wiener dog, you know. Oh, I love wiener dogs. They're so cute. Oh my god, they're so lovely. I love wiener dogs. Mom, can I get a wiener dog? Aberfale is the fattest town in the UK. By that, does it mean the people in the town are fat? Or is that like some kind of youth thing? Man, that town is like well fat, blood, you know what I mean? Your town is the fattest town, you know what I mean, bro? It might be. Is it fat with a PH or fat with an F? We need to know these things. Whiner dog. That's bizarre. I love watching the footy on S4C with the Welsh commentary. Again, because I can't understand that much of it. I like the fact that I don't have to listen to people talking utter shit. Well, they might be talking shit, but I can't hear a word, understand the word they say. But it's the fact that they haven't got any other words for things like free kick or midfield. There's a TV show called Come On Midfield, isn't it? So it's just be a load of garbled vowels followed by an English word that seems so out of place. Bizarre. Do you dim and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. I started learning Welsh when we lived there. Not a lot, just a little bit. It's probably because I didn't learn any because I wouldn't want that in my head at the same time as having Dutch, German, Spanish, and English. I don't think I could work at that kind of speed. 4 out of 5 is 30 plus BMI. Right, so Ebervale is proper, full on, fat bastard city. That's bizarre. Corn dogs look like the grossest. I was say the greatest. I was going to say what you're on about, Lizzie. The grossest food stuff on the planet. Again, we don't want to make this American bashing, but considering they keep having a go at British cuisine, how bad it is, some of the shite they eat over there is just off the scale. Corn dogs do look disgusting. A yummy mummy in Welsh is a glam man. Wait, yeah. Wigwam bam, glam man bam. Gonna take it if I can. That has got to be there's got to be merch opportunities there for a Welsh. Like I say, juicy. You don't need juicy tracksuits for mothers of dubious virtue like we have here. You can put them in glam mam stuff. I've never seen the Danish lunchbox. Thank you, Casper. We don't want to see it, mate. No, I don't think. I can't even remember what Danish food was like. I know we had Danish neighbours when we lived in the Netherlands. I can't remember what they used to eat. Yeah, liver pate and rye bread. Mind you, liver pate, well, it was more leverwurst in Netherlands. But I remember them eating liver pate and rye bread. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I think that's quite a Northern European dish. Not hugely popular in the UK, I wouldn't have thought. Although people do eat pate, but I don't think it's anywhere near the same. But yeah, part of the new merch line, Glam Man Velour Tracky, definitely. I want to see that on a massive arse. You know, one of the ones that you see normally in Iceland, getting the frozen chips out. We're gonna do this. Velour trackies all round. Brown velour trackies. Or kippers colour. The colour of kippers. And by kippers I mean the bear kippers, not the David niche that Casper's got. I'm about to sort that merch out, aren't I? Kippers definitely wants his own line. He wants his own baseball cap. I'm not even sure you can put a baseball cap on a bear, can you? Are you allowed to put a baseball cap on a bear? Isn't it against the Geneva Convention or something? How would it fit? Would I have to use tit tape? Could I staple it on? How would it work? Again, I can't even see him, so I don't know. Mandy, a purple one. A purple Glam Mam trackie, velour trackie on its way to you. The Glam Mam merch line. That could take off. I could be massive in Wales, man. I could be huge. Could be the next big thing. I could be the next Windsor Davis. You know, we've got to aim for the top, haven't you? He has been with me for a while. I'm trying to think how long ago it was actually. Probably. Oh, Christ. 15, 16 years maybe. I think I've got videos on my YouTube channel actually that Kippers used to be the face of when I was doing my poetry, because I wouldn't put myself on camera. So he used to be the one in front of the camera instead. And I'm sure that was going back to like 2009. So he's been at least 14, 15 years. My ex-wife bought me him for Valentine's Day. And I wouldn't have got rid of him because he became the unofficial face of the channel. And also, my daughter loved him. She cuddled up with him, and I used to read stories. So yeah, he's like part of the family now. And Horace, I've had him for over 50 years. There's no way on earth. Yeah. Oh, Kipper's looking like Hong Kong Phooey. Do you know what? I wouldn't mind that at all. Number one super guy. It'd suit that. You met Windsor Davis, he was lovely. Pushed your mate's wheelchair. Did he talk about your lovely shoulders? Lovely shoulders, boy. Put 'em back. He seemed alright, actually. How do you seek him? Never used to trust him. I don't know what it is. He's probably alright, but there's something about him I just couldn't take to. And you met Max Boyce. He's another one. He looked so shady. And I don't know why. He was probably sound. But who else is left in Wales after that? In terms of 70s, like proper 70s stars. There must be loads more. Got to be. Anyway, yeah, like I say, gonna start wrapping this up because it is getting a bit late. And I do need a shower to try and liven me up. And I need more snackage. Tom Jones and Shirley Bassey, of course, Louise, how can you forget them too? The Jones boy. You went on a roller coaster with Elaine Page. Bella Emberg was there too. That's not just surreal, that is... I'd pay to watch that. Richard Burton. What a voice. What an actor, what a voice. Absolutely incredible. That voice, as soon as you hear it, it doesn't matter what role he's playing, that is just, I believe every word he says. Such gravitas. Incredible. Yeah. Bella Emberg. Was she lighter than I remember? Because I seem to remember watching something. I can't remember what she was on. Was she with Russ Abbott? Was she playing? He was playing Cooperman, and she was Blunder Woman. And I always remember being this massively huge fat woman. I thought, actually, no. Looking back, she wasn't massively fat. She was just a larger lady. But I had in my mind that she was absolutely huge, and she wasn't. Pete and Dud's Richard Burton. I've not heard that. And I've heard some Pete and Dud stuff, so I will need to check that out. Like the Funk Soul Brother. The Boss Wales. I like Wales, must admit. Obviously, we've got loads of mates that still live there. One of which my dad was talking the other day. He lives in Mochtra, I think it is. He walks up to Wales End all the time, and he's in his 70s now, same as my dad. Smoked all his life, and he's gone for his fitness checks, and he's absolutely 100% healthy, bizarrely, because he exercises loads and he looks after himself in that kind of way. It just shows you if you walk a lot, you can reverse a lot of the damage that you're doing with other things. But Wales End, I think I might have to go and have a check at that place as well. It looks fantastic. She was still a big lady when you saw her. Oh, back in the early 90s. That's fair enough. The early 90s. I was looking, I think the show I seen her on was in the 80s. And not only but also, fantastic. Mochtra, yeah. I'm trying to think where else. David Smallman used to play for Everton. What the Jesus? What? Have I just been shot? What the hell's that? Something's fallen down anyway. Oh no, it's the old ring light. I'm not asked about that. That can go. Why that's fallen off though? Very strange. Yeah, Coed Porth. Yes, I know all these things. And my dad lived in Mould, so we used to go around all those areas. Lizzie, it frightened the shit out of you. You're there, I'm here when it happened. How do you think it made me feel? I think I'm sure it was the ring light. That can be the only thing it is. Nothing else has fallen over. But yeah. Yeah, I think this is getting a bit surreal now, so let's start making a move, I think. I need to go and zoom round Tesco as quick as I can, and then I will go and bore the shit out of you in the RDA later. So, thank you all very much for joining me. I love this, I genuinely love it. I look forward to every stream, I look forward to having your company. You are great company as always, and I hope to catch you on the next one, which I think will be Sunday, which will give me enough time to sort the lighting situation out and also get rid of the poltergeist that's currently living in this room. So thank you very, very much, and hopefully we'll catch you very, very soon. Sunday, yes, Sunday, very soon. Soon enough, innit? Cheers and see you later. Bye. Hoo-yah!